UFC Tampa is the last fight card of 2024, so let's try to make as much money as we possibly can. My name is Angelo. This is We Want Picks, and I'm going to give you my Underdog Fantasy entry for UFC Tampa. If you don't know what Underdog Fantasy is, it's daily fantasy. You come in here, you say higher or lower than any of the numbers you see on the screen, and you can make a whole bunch of money. They will even give you free money to play. The only thing you need to do is go to wewantpicks.com/underdog, use promo code WWP, and get your free money. It's literally that simple. wewantpicks.com/underdog, promo code WWP. I am going to focus on UFC Tampa. But if we look across the top here, you can see this is all sports. We still got some college football going. We've got some soccer going, video games. I think darts is in here. I don't know how you do any of that crap. So we're going to focus on fights. Get the free money, promo code WWP. Let's go ahead and run down this card. I've got a 4-slot entry that we've got going on here. I'm not going to touch this main event for a couple of reasons. One, Colby Covington, before his last fight, was a beast, a cardio, forward pressure wrestling beast. In his last fight, he did almost nothing. He has since said that he, I think, broke a bone in his foot. He had whatever that illness is when you fight at elevation. He said he had all sorts of issues. So maybe that's true. And maybe he shows up here and he looks absolutely fantastic, the Kobe of old. Or maybe that's just a bunch of bullshit from a 36-year-old man who sort of lost his touch. I don't know. So we're not going to touch it. Because if it is the Kobe of old, then I don't think Joaquim's going to have a lot of success. But if it's the Kobe we saw in his last fight, then Joaquim's going to blow right through him. What I do like, though, is if we look at Billy Quarantillo here, I have his expanded. This is what I do love about Underdog Fantasy. First of all, it's every single fighter on the card, not just the cherry-picked few. And also, you have an insane amount of options, the most amount of options in this space. I'm going to do the lower on fantasy points because while I do think Billy Q can win this fight, if he wins this fight, it's a lot of dancing around and a lot of pitter-patter. Maybe he'll get a takedown, but he's not going to get a submission. He's certainly not going to knock out. I don't think he's going to finish a pretty durable, even in his advanced age, Cub Swanson. If we take a look at the fantasy points, here's the scoring. Significant strike is a 1/2 of a point. Then you do get 5 for a takedown. I don't see any finishes, so we're not going to get anything on this side of the board here. So it's really just going to come down to how many strikes is this dude going to land, and does he get a couple of takedowns? And at 67.5 fantasy points, we're going to need a lot of takedowns and a lot of strikes. So I'm going to do the lower on that. The best part about Underdog Fantasy is we can do the flex pay. So we can get one wrong and still make a couple of bucks. Let's work our way down. I'm not going to touch the Manel Kape-Bruno Silva fight either. I do squarely think Manel Kape wins this fight. The problem is he can be low volume, and he can just kind of take his time. He also has a ton of finishing ability. So maybe he finishes Bruno Silva. Probably not. I did explore the higher on 14.99 fight minutes. You can add that to your entry if you'd like, but we're going to go ahead and leave that alone. Vitor Petrino probably wins by finish. We've seen Dustin Jacoby a little chinny as of late, and Vitor Petrino hits like a freight train, but he is coming off of that pretty quick submission loss to Anthony Smith where he sort of shot a takedown, left his neck out there. I don't know what version of him we're going to get. Maybe he just wants to get a win. He's going to take his time, be nice and slow, no risks. Or he's going to come out guns blazing, looking to get it back. Again, we're going to leave some of these alone. Let's work our way down to Shawn Woodson. Shawn Woodson is a guy that I am going to throw in here because I do like the over on the fight minutes. I think Shawn Woodson wins this fight. I think he's going to use that length, use that reach, and use Fernando Padilla's aggression against him by just dancing around, staying on the outside, using that length. I think this goes to a decision, win or lose, for Shawn Woodson. So 14.99 fight minutes, we're going to go ahead and do the higher. If we continue to work our way down, let's take a look at Miranda Maverick. I also have hers extended here. We have a lot of options for Miranda Maverick. You could do the higher on fight minutes, which I do think happens. That is going to reduce your payout a little bit because it's almost a guarantee. What is basically even money is the higher on 2.5 takedowns. That's 1 takedown per round. And in her last fight, she only got 2 takedowns, didn't get the full 3. I do think she'll get at least 3 in this. And that's because Jamie Lynn Hort's a good striker, decent striker, will throw some power out there, will move forward. So I think Miranda's just going to get this to the ground. It's going to be very easy to get Jamie Lynn Hort to the ground. She doesn't have very good grappling. And once on the ground, Miranda should be squarely in control. If Jamie Lynn works back up, Miranda will take her back down. That works for us. So I do think she'll get at least 3 takedowns here. So we'll do the higher there because the payout's a little better. If you don't trust this and you want to be as safe as possible, then do the higher on 14.99 fight minutes. I do think this likely goes to a decision. And the last one we'll throw in here is Josefine Knutsson. We are going to do the higher on fight minutes there. We have 2 women who can be dangerous, but haven't really shown that yet in the UFC. I think we're going to get some forward pressure, some Piera Rodriguez aggression, looking to grapple, looking to close the distance, and Josefine Knutsson looking to be long, looking to be the striker. I don't see a finish here. I think we end up with a good old-fashioned lady decision. So that is going to be my entry. I've already got it built. Go ahead and take a look at live here. I've already got it built. Let's take a look. We got Billy Quarantillo lower on the fantasy points because I think he's just going to dance around, touch and go. If not, flat out use that fight. Josefine Knutsson, 14.99 fight minutes. I do think that fight goes to a decision. Shawn Woodson, I think his fight goes to a decision as well. And we have the Miranda Maverick over 2.5 takedowns. Guys, that's my entry. If you love it, great. Use the very free money and tail it. If you don't, that's fine. Build your own entry. Mix and match sports. If you're showing up here, you're watching this video because you like fights, but you're the football guy? Well, go ahead and get your free money using the promo code, then build a football entry. WeWantPicks.com/underdog, promo code WW